our heart, they do have an electromagnetic field because of the currents and the voltages in there. But the interesting thing is because we are so focused on our brain and because we think that's the king. But the interesting thing is, and that's why it's so powerful, proven by the Heart Math Institute in the US, the fact is that the electromagnetic field of our heart is 5 times bigger and stronger than the one from our brain. And this is exactly why we can feel things in a way if we can't explain here, because there are a lot of emotions and our heart is just sending this information outside. If you're sitting next to somebody, then you could feel that as well.
My understood it was that was the gut. That was even more powerful, even that your brain or both are connected. But the heart, I haven't heard that.
We are all energy beings. We are made 99% of energy, so we can communicate with energies, especially women.
Well, I'm a bit impressed. I have to be very honest, Dr. Cornelia.
So please, grab a cup of coffee or tea, get comfortable, and enjoy this episode. Welcome to the Brilliantly Branded podcast.
The global energy crisis is something that is happening right now. And that could be something you have heard about. For example, the prices, the supplies, the politics. But all of those things are what is happening outside. But what is happening inside of every woman specifically who is leading something or building something that is holding everything together and wondering why she feels like she is running on empty when she is doing everything right. I am kind of describing what I'm feeling sometimes. And this episode is related with that topic specifically. I invite the Dr. Cornelia Kawann, and she came into this work through things that most people will really not expect it. And she's an electrical engineer, and that's what I did this introduction about energy. Her background is related with understanding how energy moves. So how the frequency works and how fields interact and how we let all those things get it into the equation that we build around that. So a lot of doubts, a lot of things that we don't know how to manage, how to handle. And this is how our episode today is going to be about. So I will invite you, Dr. Cornelia, that join us and give an introduction, complement to what I just said, and let us know a little bit about your background and what do you do today.
Thank you so much for this amazing introduction. And I'm so happy to be here at the Brilliantly Branded podcast. Thank you so much for having me. Feel very honored. And I think you really brought it already to the point what I'm doing. And you explained it very well. And this connection between electric energy and our personal energy. And I can only say to myself, in a way, electric energy is all what we are having here in our social life. Without this, nothing works. And similar, as you already said, we are doing everything right, but why I feel so exhausted, and this is more and more women are talking about this. This is exactly these similarities between the energy crisis on one side and also the burnout on the other side. And for me as a person, for a very long time, I'm really a scientist. And for a very long time, everything I couldn't see, I couldn't touch, and I couldn't measure, that just didn't exist in my life. And then I discovered quantum science, and it really opened up a completely new world to me, as you described so beautifully, just by thinking that every thought, every belief, every emotion, it's just a frequency and it has a certain energy. And then I started working with this, and that's really made a huge impact. Yeah, it changed my whole life. The way I see myself, I see the world, and how I react to the world.
I'm so curious about the energy and the limiting beliefs and how all those things are there, because if I imagine, for example, that there was a moment or maybe a slow realization with what you knew technically started to connect to something much more personal, what were you seeing when that happened? So when you realize, there is a limiting belief in someone.
Yeah, most people, they don't care about the limiting belief, but most of the time they have a problem, right? And they just want you to help them solve the problem. But I think this is exactly also what you said. If you find something doesn't work for you, this is in a way that made me start looking, well, how can where is the method for me? And that's how I discovered all this energy work. And that's with what I can support now others as well. It's more kind of a need myself, and that's how I developed it. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
what.
this is it's important to know how our own needs are bringing us to the things that we are dreaming to or wanted to in certain way add value to this society. But building on that, and for the people that are listening right now, because I think that a lot of women will arrive to this conversation and feel in their body but not be able to name it. Now, when
Mhm.
we are feeling something but not be able to put it a name to what is happening to us. So when you talk about energy in a person, with a leader or with a woman, for example, running a business or being in the world of entrepreneur and these things, what are you actually describing to them?
Well, most of the time, yeah, I only get contacted, same as you, if somebody has a problem, right? And then, so how I work in a way is that the person describes the problem. We can say, as you said before, like you're trying to build something up or to do something, and no matter how much energy or time or effort you put in something, it doesn't keep going or that doesn't get started. And then in a way what I do is that, energy in a way, it's all around us, and we have our own energy because we are kind of a walking battery. And like any electromagnetic field item, or like our phone, as it is here, and also our computer, there are little currents flowing in it, and there are also little voltages, like we have these chips in there, and they make the whole thing work. Right? Nobody really wants to know how it works, but it's working, and we all know if current is flowing, there's an electromagnetic field around us. And if we come to our body, in a way, it's the same, because now everybody's talking about the nervous system, and nervous system in a way is it's milliampere flowing through our body. It's little currents that are flowing through our body. And also when we look in our cells, like each and every cell have like a healthy cell has a voltage between the nucleus and the cell membrane of minus 70 millivolt. So if we have millivolts and milliamperes in our body, we're in a way a walking battery. We have this electromagnetic field around us. And this is what we, as you said before, sometimes we feel things, but we can't describe it because we were kind of taught to ignore it. Because nobody tells you that you have this electromagnetic field around it and that you can manage it and that work with it. And that's what I'm kind of teaching with people, teaching to people. And the thing is that all these limiting beliefs, emotions, and all this information is not only stored in your body, it's stored in your energy body as well. And what I can do is to connect with this energy, and then like you come with a problem, and then I can kind of connect with your energy and download the information, what is actually the real problem behind it. And then I get also the information how to solve it. And that's how I'm working. So I'm not really talking to people. I'm talking to their energy and their frequencies in a way. I know it sounds weird, but that's, as we are all kind of energy beings, everybody can do that, but we just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, I was actually smiling because you say the key word that is frequency. And I have been always using that word without having a deep knowledge about the meaning of that, but feeling that. And personally, I'm feeling that. So I'm feeling the frequency that is arriving to me. And don't tell me how, but even across the screens, I can feel it. So it is something that is happening there that I am wondering why this is happening. And coming from you, that it's all with your background, and coming from the technical world, what is the science world, where this is have the root. I think that that is something that, as you say, well, so sounds weird, but when you say sounds weird and you can explain it with physics and science and all those things, how you will combine that for people to understand how to manage.
Yeah, and the ways, because why you can feel it, and this is that there is that's all the quantum field. And nobody's talking about it as well, but Einstein was already working on the quantum field. He at that time couldn't explain it, but in a way, it's an electromagnetic field all around us, and we are all connected with this quantum field. And that's why I, in a way, can connect with your energy. I could energetically be on your side, and I could feel exactly what you feel. Just in a way, connecting via this quantum field, because that's so interesting. Like an Austrian physics professor, Anton Zeilinger, he got the Physics Nobel Prize 2 years ago on his work on the quantum science. So as I said, it's not no woo-woo or whatever. It has been, it's appreciated, it's acknowledged that this quantum field exists and that we are living in it. And the interesting thing is that the communication via this quantum field is faster than the speed of light. It's really in that moment. And that's why even Einstein at that time didn't understand how it works. He was working at CERN, and he called it the Spooksche Fernbeziehung. But now it's solved in a way how we are all connected, and it's called also the entanglement. And that's why we can also in a way communicate with our energies even if we're not aware of it.
And how does this electromagnetic field is connected to the way that we think, for example, or the emotions?
The thing in a way is that our brain and our heart, they do have an electromagnetic field because of the currents and the voltages in there. But the interesting thing is because we are so focused on our brain and because we think that's the king. But the interesting thing is, and that's why it's so powerful, is that, and that was proven by the Heart Math Institute in the US, the fact is that the electromagnetic field of our heart is 5 times bigger and stronger than the one from our brain. And this is exactly why we can feel things in a way if we can't explain here, because there are a lot of emotions and our heart is just sending this information outside. If you're sitting next to somebody, in a way, if you really pay attention, then you could feel that as well.
Wow, that is incredible, because I understood, and I say incredible because my understood before it was that was the gut. That was even more powerful, even that your brain or both are connected. But the heart, I haven't heard that. I didn't know that. And that is very interesting. And I would like to bring something, in fact, for all the women listening to us, that they can recognize in her own life what is happening, how they can manage that. And most of the women, and I am included on that, and in the audience, I know that there is a lot of women that are identified with that. We are functioning in a way that we are delivering, but sometimes feel that is not enough, and we cannot put a name to that specifically. So how we can really know that this is the energy arriving? I know the theory about maybe I am feeling or no, or we cannot put a name on that.
Well, what you said, that we always think we are over-delivering, or many women are over-delivering, and this perfectionism, what I've learned from my work, and you probably with your work as well, it's always that, in a way, that the way many women are brought up. So there are many of us, I think I haven't met anybody who doesn't have this limiting belief that you're not good enough, you're not worth, you always have to prove yourself, I was brought up like in a way that I felt only appreciated and loved if I bring certain results at school or whatever. So in a way, it's some things we just learn from our environment, and they're deep rooted in our way. And just coming back to in my world, or how I see the world, is that we are really coming back to the frequencies, right? In the way we are born with our very unique frequency. This is you.
Okay.
And then like let's say the first 16 years of your life, then a lot of beliefs, things that are happening to you, emotions, and all these additional frequencies, they're then put on top of your frequency. And by the age of 18, then you forgot how you felt with your original frequency because too many things were put on top of it. And by the age of 18, you think the frequency you're vibrating on, this is me. But it's not. It's kind of the result from your education and what happened to you in the first 18 years. And so my goal in a way is to remove these frequencies that are not you and do not belong to you from your original frequency. So it's not, for me, in a way, my work is not about becoming somebody else, but kind of you're removing all these additional layers so you in a way come back to your original frequency.
So you become your authentic self, basically,
Yeah, exactly.
who you have
And
been your entire life, but you didn't realize that until you really remove all those layers. It's like onion layers, right? I mean, if I do the metaphor comparing across the years, we are putting a lot of layers based on the environment that we are living, and then we realize that we need to come back to the source, to the center, isn't it?
yeah. And I think the more of these layers, you remove, or I call it frequencies because, for me, this is more tangible, the more you feel yourself and the more authentic you become and the more resilient you are. In a way, it's more about that because if you have a lot of emotions have their own frequencies and they're like guilt or shame, their emotions, they're really very low vibrating and they're very strong. So I know that many people are meditating or trying to increase their energy, but the problem is that and you do increase your frequency during a meditation and even increase your energy, but the thing is, as soon as you open the eyes and then you go back into your normal daily life with everything stays the same around you, and then you fall back to your original frequency. And that's why some Dr. Joe Dispenza or whatever, he came up with this walking meditation. So in a way to keep you longer in this meditation phase, so to keep you longer in the higher frequency. But I think also here it's much more sustainable to remove those frequencies that do not belong to you, because then automatically your frequency, you go back to your high original frequency. And then you can't fall back here. If you remove these emotions from your system, then they're gone. And then your frequency eventually starts and get back to where you are. And that's my goal.
Yeah. Is I am thinking, in fact, in all the supportive theory that you just explained to us, but how that in the practice will be, because the problem is that we know all the theory, we know everything what is happening, but in the moment to really putting that things in practice and removing all those layers, all those frequencies, and coming back to our center, that is our authentic self. So what do you recommend to get it into practice, or how you will explain to the listeners, or if we want, we can do the practice, you and I, in order for people to really understand how to really remove those limiting beliefs, not just by theory, but really to take in actions.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely do that. As I said, it's more about this. The first step definitely is awareness, right? And that you just, for me, in a way, sometimes it's just like also for trigger points, or that like I'm cooking in the kitchen, whatever, and then one of my daughters coming and she says something or she wants something and I get angry, for example. And then for me, it's not about what she said. It's about why I am getting angry. And this is kind of the first step, awareness. So why does this have an impact on me? Why is this triggering me? And then what I do really, even during cooking, right? And I say, what's behind? And then I really work, and it doesn't take longer than 5 to 10 minutes. And then the next time, and that's the beauty about it, like the next time the same situation happens, and if I really solve the root cause, then it doesn't trigger me anymore. And this is kind of the freedom I'm giving myself with this energy work, because it makes my life so much easier that I'm not triggered or getting angry or somebody is causing emotion in me because of some things that are stored in me. And coming back to your question, actually, yeah, we can do an exercise, how we can remove one of your limiting beliefs. We all have. The thing is that I work with somebody and she said, yeah, but I want to know what limiting belief it is, right? And I said, we have thousands of limiting beliefs. If I really pay attention to each and any of it,
True.
like that's why I
Yeah.
really kind of do learn them in parts and as much as possible, because there are just so many. I can't kind of celebrate the removal of each and any limiting belief. Of course,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
you're right.
also good. And I think what's important for me, and that what I would like to say here, now it's the time we don't need to know so many details. It's not why certain maybe in a way, I put it in a different way. It's not important what it is. It's more important what did this situation or this person, whatever, what did it make me to store in my system? It's not
Okay.
about the situation. Most of the time, it's not about the situation at all. It's more about what emotions, beliefs, or what did I put in my system? And this is about to remove that. And because most of the situations, especially when we're going back into childhood, there of course there might be some really severe situations. I'm not talking about this one, but in general, like 90% of when I spoke with people, if I explained them what happened, it is something completely normal, but at that time you couldn't put it in the right perspective and made something completely big out of it. You feared something or whatever, and this is actually what we need to work on, not on the situation.
Yeah, it's putting the words in what we are feeling and how we bring the emotions and learn how to put a name to that emotion. I think this is one of the most difficult things for all of us. I'm including on that. Even when I have been always trying to understand what is happening and put it a name, sometimes a lot of people, for example, put it just one name to the things that are happening to them and they say, I'm stressed. And I'm stressed is covering many, many, many different emotions and things that are happening. And actually, that stress can be trigger for many of those limiting beliefs that we haven't worked on it yet. So let's crack it on really working on one of my limiting beliefs. And actually, it was part of when we start the conversation, I explained that is
And this is the moment where I just allowed myself to be in the process. No questions, no analysis, just trust. Cornelia accessed my electromagnetic field and worked on something I have been carrying for a long time without fully knowing it was there. I am not going to tell you what happened in detail because some things are better felt than explained. What I can tell you is that something shifted, clearly, in a way I could feel it. And if you have ever had the sensation that something inside you moved without being able to explain why, you will understand exactly what I meant. Let's carry listening to this episode and the conclusions after that.
okay. Is how can I explain that? It's very difficult to understand what is happening and how we just need to let go things without any explanation, because we are always looking for the deeper explanation. And in my case, that I'm very curious with everything, I wanted to know everything, why this is happening, but how, and this time I just trusting and letting go. So I think this is the
Thank
most
you very
important
much
part.
for surrendering. And exactly that you said that I think this is so important, because that makes a big difference of my work. And this is exactly as you said, because you don't know the details, your mind doesn't step in. And because if I would have told you, and I got a story here, this and this happened, and now can you forgive this or can you do that? Then your mind would immediately step up and say, no, this was not right. I can't forgive this. Or then we need to talk along and to convince your mind that it's still okay to forgive. And with my method is because I'm not going into details, it's so much easier for people to let go because your mind doesn't understand that there is deep work going on because there are no details.
Hmm. Okay. And is I just as a matter of giving information to our audience related with how did you get this information? Because this information that you just said, in my case, how that information comes to you. If may
It's kind
I
of,
ask this question, because this is a question like, tell me how do you do that? Maybe very very there for me, but I would love to know that.
yeah, the thing is kind of, as I said, but I didn't have this skill at the beginning. That's what I'm saying. We are all energy people or energy beings. We are made 99% of energy, so we can communicate with energies. We all can. And that's what I'm teaching especially women, how they can learn this skill again. It's just as I am connecting with your energy via the quantum field. And then I just ask this question to your energy and all the information is there. And then, for me, in a way is, I get a download of information. I get kind of as if I would communicate with you and you would tell it to me. Your energy is talking to me and telling me, it's this and this and this problem. And then I ask, so what we need to do is do this and this and this. So in a way, I'm not doing anything. I'm more kind of a translator and holding the space for you that you can do it on your own.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit impressed. I have to be very honest, Dr. Cornelia, because it is very accurate in the sense that there was something that I knew it that I should be healing. And I say should be because I am not really getting into, yes, this is probably something that I have. I haven't had a time to get it into analysis paralysis. I am just a woman that is doing things, and that give me a lot of satisfaction in many different ways. But at the same time, I think that in the moment that you surrender and let go, things shift, things happen in a different way. And for all those people that are wanting to know what should be happening after that process, and not specifically with the process that you just did with me, I don't know if we have to close the space or doing something because I have a question after that.
No, I think because I'm holding the space still here for you and also for your community. So if anybody is watching the recording, they can in a way follow this process, and because I'm holding the space here, and I will close this space after the recording.
Okay. But the question is, if someone is wanted to work on that specifically, what they should be, what are the expectations after that happen? So what should be happening? Something should be shifting, something should be changing, or nothing changed, but the only things that change is you.
The thing is, I can't really answer this question because each and everybody is unique. And I have seen really already a broad spectrum. I have seen that people I worked with one time, and there were so many big changes within 2 weeks. I was in awe, right? It was incredible. With others is then we were working for 4 months and all of a sudden, boom, it happened. And the thing is, I can only get this information and look that deep. You're ready to open up and to look at it yourself. And I can't change that for the person. So some people are really open and they really want to do it and they open up, and then we can go so much deeper very fast. And others need more time, and this is okay as well. So that's why I can't tell you, because it doesn't depend on me. It really depends on the specific person. And I'm holding this space here, and this is a safe space, and it's very powerful. People can let go things they never thought they ever could. And this is already, that can shift already a lot. But also
Yeah.
coming back to here, to your situation, I also got the information right afterwards. This was kind of, there is another layer underneath, but we couldn't work on it right now, because that's also part of energy work. Is sometimes it needs a 1 week or 2 weeks so that the energies can settle and, adjust. And then we can work on the next layer. And so here I get the information right now. I can only look as far as you allow me to look, right? Even subconsciously. And there would be a small thing on the another layer underneath.
Okay. But in between that, things can happen. So if
Yeah,
something
definitely.
happened, I will be
Definitely.
surprised like, well, what I
You
have
know,
done.
I was working like I had one workshop on financial flow, and
Yeah.
that it was thing, for like the half of the people, at least they didn't tell me, I don't know, but half of the people, they came back to me, one told me she got out of the nowhere all of a sudden 20,000 euros, and what other got a pay rise, and other got an exceptional financial thank you from her boss. So there was kind of all of a sudden money coming from unexpectedly somewhere. And for the others, at least I haven't heard from them. Maybe nothing happened, but we definitely removed some layers. But there are more layers, and so the shift was not so noticeable.
Yeah. Yeah, I am 100% with you because this is part of what I have been researched since so long until now. And we all believe about that with my husband because we have been working in what happened with the frequencies, why you connected with certain people, but no we other. When you connect with certain people that arrive in the right moment when you need it, or when we say the universe is put it on your way in order for you to do what you need to do as a next step. So we really believe on that. And that's the reason why I was so curious about asking you all the things. And actually, to start to wrap up, I would like to know if you can share with us the example that you give with this group of people working in finances, but an example of a woman that came to you to work certain problem and that probably shifts in certain way in which that person was not realizing what they was not working on. Can you give us an example of about that?
So yeah, there are different ways. I had one mastermind running the last years. It's a 4 months mastermind, and then people were really, all the participants were only women. They came with a goal they wanted to achieve like in half a year or a year. So it was a big goal, right? And that was also interested that that was also what I noticed, that working in a group did many things faster and deeper because the energy was much higher. It was an interesting observation as well. So, and there, like one client, she came with me, or she came with the goal. She had long COVID. She wanted to, she was in a board member position. She wanted to go back to work. And then she wanted to, shifted in a way, then she wanted to a new partnership, and she wanted to move back to Switzerland because she was living in Germany. And the thing is, we really worked on it on all these layers. So during the mastermind, she managed to get out of long COVID and she started working again. But then she noticed that's not for her anymore because her energy already shifted so much. Yeah, she wanted to have a new position. And then not much happened actually in these 4 months. But after 2 months after the mastermind, she called me and then she said, you will never believe what happened to me, because like a month after the mastermind, she flew back to Switzerland to meet her family. And on the plane, she met like her new partner and she managed to get a golden handshake from her corporate job. She moved to Switzerland. Now she is living with him and she's starting her own business there.
That is a beautiful story. And sometimes things happen, we don't know why, but we always end up receiving that in the best way possible. To close this beautiful episode, I have just a last question, and it's related with one of my new projects that is Seeds for a Better World. And Seeds for a Better World is an association in which we are supporting education for children in rural Colombia. And I always do this question to my guests, and it's, if you could define in one word, what could be the seed for a better world, what that word will be?
For me, it's energy.
Energy.
Yes.
Ener-
Energy work changes everything.
Energy change everything. Yeah, well, you just demonstrate that. So, Dr. Cornelia, I am very grateful for you being my guest in the podcast. I don't know if you wanted to add something else where people can contacting you, people that wanted to work. We are going to put the links in the episode for people that wanted to know more, people that wanted to get it into the world of how manage their own energy and their own frequencies. But please feel free to share that with us.
Yeah, first of all, I really want to thank you for your trust because I think it's not so easy to be live, here in this podcast, and I'm demonstrating something you were not even, you didn't know what you got yourself into it, and so you're very brave, and I appreciate it very much that you were open to it. And I'm very grateful that I could support you here a little bit on your amazing journey to really make your podcast grow, that more and more people are listening to it because it's an amazing format, and I'm happy to support it with my energy.
Thank you.
So if people want to work with me, you will link my webpage, and there
Yes.
is the possibility of what I'm offering now still for a short time is a complimentary half-an-hour personal energy strategy session. So if you have a problem, can have a short half-an-hour call, and I can tell you what I get the information, what's how we can work on it. And
Excellent.
yeah, and if you want to know more about it, I have published a book. It's Change Your Energy, Change Your Life. 39 3-minute exercises, how you can really manage your energy whenever you need it, especially for women. It's especially how you can recharge your energy in 3 minutes, how you can set energetic boundaries,
Wow.
how you can
Okay.
have heart brain coherence when you need to be creative. And they don't take longer than 3 minutes. And I think any busy woman has 3 minutes if she really needs it.
All our audience, they will like to have the tools also to put this in practice. So I have to say, just thank you very much for your time and for your good energy, because I feel it since the moment that I contacted you to come and be my guest. So thank you very much for your time and for your knowledge and to putting that outside into the world. Thank you very much, Dr. Cornelia.
Thank you, Maria, and for having me and all, the work what you're doing for the children and for all these amazing women that are in your community. I'm really you rock. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Your story is your brand, and your brand is a seed for a better world. Every conversation you heard today came from someone who showed up to share honestly and trusted that their experience could help someone else. That someone is probably you. Now it is your turn to pass it on. Please share this episode with one woman who needs it. Explore the playlist and find the conversation that is picked for her moment. Because the right story, shared at the right time, change everything. And every time this community grows, it reaches farther than you can imagine. The proceeds from our brilliantly branded live events go directly to children's education through Seeds for a Better World, the association we founded so that impact never stops. So please explore the playlist, and if you know a voice that deserves to be heard here, please send them my way. Until the next episode, ciao ciao!